Hello, Section 5281 of Management 3503, Risk Management and Decision Making. I'm Paul Craig. I'm your instructor for this term, and in this week where we are submitting our mid-term videos, I thought it'd be useful for me to give you a video so you can see what I look like and what I sound like, and I can provide a few insights into the team assignment. But first, please take some time and fill out the student questionnaire. This is important feedback for me and for the faculty to help us with this, manage this course as we go forward and improve it for future students. So thank you for the time it takes to fill out the questionnaire. In my brief experience teaching Management 3503, I find that the students have the most difficulty with the team assignment. Not quite sure why this is, but I thought I'd try to share some of my observations from previous classes in the effort that it will help you better understand the objectives of this assignment and improve your performance on the papers that you submit as a team. First off, 5 common mistakes that I see people make in the team assignment. Number 1, an unclear or incomplete problem definition. As we learned in the first week of the class, a problem well defined is a problem half solved. That's as important in this assignment as it is in any aspect of this course. So please take the time to think through your problem very clearly and state it clearly. Second, confusing alternatives with objectives. Or when I'm looking for objectives, I want outcomes. Things that you will use to evaluate whether or not you're solving the problem. If it's an action that you can take, it's not an objective, it's an alternative. And you should separate the things in that using those guidelines. Number 3, jumping to conclusions. It's very easy in problem solving to think that we have all the relevant data and we can easily jump to the answer to the problem. That is not formal problem analysis, is not formal decision making, and the purpose of this class is to help you become more disciplined in your decision making, and that means following a formal process. So avoid jumping to conclusions, define your process, and follow your process. Then that's the 4th observation, is that many people in doing the team assignment don't follow a structured process, and the papers I get back are haphazard and disappointing. Number 5 is avoid trying to implement all of the alternatives that you identify. That's not realistic. In the real world, we don't have the money, the time, or the expertise to do all of the alternative courses of actions that we can envision. And so we must be realistic in this assignment and identify the alternative that best helps us address the problem that we're looking at. What am I looking for? The purpose of the assignment is for you to demonstrate competence in formal decision making. That means following a process, and it means using that process to improve upon the decisions that you would make if you didn't follow the process. We're using a team assignment because that's real world. In your business and in your nonprofit and life, you're not going to have problems that you just solve by yourself. You're going to have to interact with other people and get their contributions to the problem, and so we've done this as a team assignment. Teams have their challenges. People don't show up, people have different points of view, different perspectives on the problem that you're addressing, and they have different work schedules, so it's hard to get together. You have to figure out how you're going to overcome these things in order to be able to meet the requirements of the class or of the assignment. Finally, 7 elements that I look for in a successful paper. Number 1, providing a context for the problem that you're going to solve. In the context, I'm looking for understanding of why this is an important problem to solve. Who cares if it's solved? And moving from that to a clear statement of the problem. As you know from earlier news posts, I like problems that are stated as questions. How do we improve sales? How do we reduce defects? What is causing this error condition to occur on a recurring basis. What do we need to do to fix things? Stating stuff as a problem as a question is very useful. Clearly state objectives that you will use to evaluate the alternative courses of actions. Objectives that are outcomes that you're trying to achieve with a successful problem resolution. Fourth, identify the alternatives. There's a number of techniques in the class, whether it's TRIZ or some of the Kempner-Trigo activities or many of the techniques that are described in the SMART book and the strategy book. Use some of those techniques to identify alternatives so that you can have a rich set of alternatives to choose from when you do your problem analysis. Number 5, evaluate the alternatives. And the evaluation of alternatives must use the objectives that you defined. It must be evaluated based upon the ability of the alternatives to achieve the outcome. I want to see quantitative analysis. It can be subjective analysis, but I do want you to use some measures to quantify or to structure your trade-offs between different alternatives. Number 6, make a recommendation. A very clear statement of which course of action you're going to take. And finally, once you have your recommendation, think about the things that can go wrong. Nothing ever goes according to plan in this world, and there are always things that will go wrong or could go wrong. And it's our ability to anticipate these things and mitigate those risks are an important aspect of problem solving and should be reflected in a quality paper in this assignment. I hope you found this video useful, and I look forward to seeing your assignments. Thanks.